Alright, what is up YouTube? Welcome back to another Battlefield video. Today we're going to be talking about the Battlefield leaks, the recent ones, and been hearing rumors about maybe a BR for Battlefield. I'm going to give my thoughts on that. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the footage in the background. I'm kind of just having some fun. And then it wound up being a good game, really interesting. I just started off with this little light tank and stuff, but we get into more action later on. Alright, anyways, so going over some of the leaks that I've seen, and I want to let you all know I'm not doing the lab stuff. I really want to, but I want to experience Battlefield 6 when it comes out. I don't want to be going through like the playtest and stuff. I'll play the beta, but I'm not anywhere involved with like the labs. Anyways, so what have I seen? And I've been keeping an eye on like the Reddit forums with Battlefield and stuff, what people are leaking, and one of the things that I've seen is a new map that they called it Gibraltar. And I don't know if y'all remember back when they were showing concept art for the map, that was the place, but it's not the entire map. The whole area is bogged down to like a small portion of the area that's like not like messed up. And based off what I could see in the recordings, is off to the side you can see like the fire. I wish y'all know. I hope y'all understand which image I'm talking about, right? And on the other side where there's water and stuff, that's just like background stuff, like to look at. And the whole map itself is pretty good. It's an urban environment again, which is pretty cool. A lot of destruction going around, a lot of rockets flying everywhere. I saw a Bradley get destroyed, I think, as well. I think the Bradley ended up firing a tow as well, and the explosion it made looked freaking awesome. So I'm definitely excited for like the explosion effects. And I saw something interesting. When the tank exploded, the driver was able to be revived. That struck me as kind of unusual, mainly because usually when you die in a vehicle, you're not allowed to get like revived. So I don't know how I feel about that. I'd rather not them pick them up. Like unless you hop out of the tank and then blow up, and then like unless your vehicle gets blown up after you hop out, then maybe you can get revived like that. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm kind of just like taking that information in. What else? First person executions are back. Or I wouldn't want to say executions. Execution is what Modern Warfare 3 has and all that stuff. First person takedowns are back, which means grabbing dog tags is cool. And thank God I didn't want to see like Battlefield compete with Call of Duty in a sense of like who has the better executions, when Battlefield has always had them. Hence why Call of Duty made that stuff. Plus the first person takedowns are more personal. The one that I saw in particular was some dude with like a sledgehammer. And at the end of the animation I had seen that like I ended up taking the dog tags, so that's pretty cool. I like it. You gotta protect your dog tags. You gotta not give those up. And if you know me, you know the people I played with. We are very particular about people knifing us, so I'm excited for that to be back. Definitely a huge W. And then what else? We saw some more weapons along the videos that I've seen. We saw like, what was it, a Magnum, a Scar with a scope, and that was pretty much it from what I've seen. I also think I've seen like an ACR or something. And I mean, as far as I could tell, everything was pretty good. Like I said, I saw the Bradley, so it's gonna be like not near future, but like more towards the modern era, like what's going on now. So I'm definitely interested what's gonna happen. And so that's pretty much what I've seen so far from the leaks, what I've seen personally. I've been hearing talks that they want to implement a battle royale, and I have talked about this in the past video, but I do understand the need to want to have your foot in that battle royale space, because Battlefield, like I said in the last video, has tried to do a battle royale with Firestorm, and it's just not working. or it hasn't worked and stuff. I'm open to it if they can do it good. Because honestly, for me, a battle royale with destruction sounds like it could be really fun. And you can deal with a lot of campers, you can deal with people like hiding in buildings and stuff. I'm for it, but I have my concerns with it. I don't. One of my concerns is I don't want them, if it does succeed, right? I don't want them to do what Call of Duty did to the multiplayer version of COD and completely neglect it for years, for like these past what, like 3-4 years. Black Ops 6. I don't want to say it's neglected. There's definitely no more multiplayer content there now, but I don't know what that's a whole different game. That's a whole different story. I think I might talk about that tomorrow. So I do plan on uploading a Call of Duty video. Talking about stuff that I've heard, stuff going on with Verdansk and stuff. But anyways, yeah, my concern with Battlefield implementing a battle royale is if it succeeds, are they gonna neglect the main game, or are they gonna have their own crew maintain it and have the universes connected? You know, that's what I want. That's something I suggested with Warzone and COD. But if Battlefield really does want to go for that BR and have that live service and have the whole expanding universe and stuff, they need to remember not to neglect the main game, the main core of the franchise, which is Battlefield and the multiplayer, right? Another thing I'm concerned about with Battle Royale, are they going to try and copy a lot of things to try and make it feel like something it's not? Because, like, let me talk about something. So, like, my version of what a battle royale in terms of like in the Battlefield space, it would be a very large map. Let's say they go with, let's say they don't want to do 128 multiplayer, 128 conquest and stuff. Totally cool. You can stick with 64. I think 64 works awesome. There's debate there on how many players. Like I'm sorry, I'm all for more players in a conquest map, but have the maps make sense for it. In Battle Royale though, you can implement 128 and it would be chaos, but the map would be huge, and I would want the map to be like, how can I put it? I want the map to make sense for 128. You know, I don't want it for like 128. I wouldn't want the map to be like big, but it feels small with the player number. But also, I don't want it to be like a running simulator where you're always chasing the circle or something. You know, I want it to be like a good balance between the player count and the map. I did like the fire coming in from Firestorm. They can expand the lore on that if they want to. You can have a separate thing going on here. It could be like POWs are playing in like war games, and like they're like underground, away from civilization, or away from what's going on in the world. Major leaders know what's going on, and they're competing for their survival. And each game you play is a separate war, like quote unquote war game. You know, like I want to compare kind of like Squid Game, where like the wealthy are the ones like in charge of it. And the soldiers have to, the POWs have to fight their way out. You know, the squads or whatever. Whatever, you can do whatever you want with the story, right? And and expand on that lore. You know, start with that. The whole point of the story would be to find out what's going on, to escape, to get word out to the rest of the world on what's going on or who they are and stuff. Really interesting stuff. You can do a lot of stuff with the lore. Me, is something I've been a huge fan of, and this is back when I used to play like Apex a lot. I love lore, Battlefield lore, all that stuff. I love it. I know Battlefield hasn't been much for lore. I know they tried doing something with 2042, but it just wasn't like with 2042 at the state that it launched and everything, all the problems it had. They couldn't do anything to expand the lore on what was going on in the world. So Definitely would love to see some sort of world building with Battle Royale. And you don't have to add specialists. Keep your regular classes, keep nameless soldiers. And as far as the battle pass, this is another concern of mine. As far as the battle pass and the cosmetics go and skins and stuff, keep them based in reality. Because a lot of what people like with Battlefield is, although I do say it's not a realistic like a milsim or anything, I do understand that it does have its realistic aspects, and that makes it fun. That's what drew me in when I first played Battlefield. That's what I like about Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. That's what I liked about Battlefield 1 and 5. Loved it, right? So I'd say keep the cosmetics grounded in reality. Maybe you can do something they don't all have to be like super realistic, but I don't want them getting Call of Duty wild where you're running around as a unicorn taking down someone with a unicorn shooting rainbow darts. But you know, I don't want it to get that crazy. You can kind of have themed battle passes in the sense of like, let's say like the little event pass that's going on right now in 2042. That's like robot-esque theme, which by the way I'm loving. If you haven't played 2042 and that event pass, you haven't seen what's going on with that, it's pretty badass. You can play as a robot. Like, it's one of the skins. You can see right here, right, actually, what I'm looking at, because I'm doing the challenges for it. I want to get those robot skins, but beside the point. I hope the cosmetics stay kind of grounded in reality, and if you do get out there, make it make sense, or have like lore behind as to why a person has a certain skin. Or if you wanna, let's say you're like let's say a Battlefield 3 engineer, right? Say he changes his skin to something else. Why would he have skin? Who's that soldier portraying? Is he like a sort of hero? Is it like the lore tie into something? You know, kind of like what they did in Battlefield 5, kind of, but less, I guess, wacky. Does that make sense? Another concern I have with Battle Royale with Battlefield is, are they just gonna copy and paste things from other games? I think I've already talked about this because I was making a point with it, but then I got sidetracked. Let's say like Fortnite, right? You know how they had the building and they tried copying that when they were making Firestorm, and they implemented building in Battlefield 5. I hope that's not something that they always do, where they try and just copy and paste. They need to make it their own original thing, core to what Battlefield is. So the fire being the circle is fine. I think Battlefield, the Firestorm started with the armor, and I think Warzone took that from them. So I guess they can keep the armor aspect of that, because that's pretty good. And if you're gonna have a loadout system or a buyback system, how can I put it? Don't make it too copy and paste from Warzone. Try and find your own way from it, you know. And what else? And that's pretty much all my concerns regarding like the Battlefield Battle Royale rumors. I am open to it. I am definitely down to try it. I do love the idea, like I said, of Battle Royale, but my fear is that it's going to be too copy and paste from what other games are doing, you know? Make it, I guess, if you're going to make a Battle Royale in Battlefield, make it make sense. Make it original to what Battlefield is. Forgot to mention one more thing. One of the concerns I do have as well is if you add vehicles, and I'm fine with quads and jeeps and transport vehicles, but if you add things like tanks, try and find a way to make players earn it. So let's say you are at a military base, there are 3 tanks that spawn in, and there's like a mini event going within the universe where you have to go fight for the military base, claim objectives like you would in like a conquest match, and you earn those tanks, you know. Like, people can see what's going on. If they want to earn a tank for the squad, they can, but if left unchecked, a squad can have 3 tanks. So try and find a way to balance them out. And if tanks do spawn, let's say like an event, so I think it should be light vehicles and infantry focused. If you end up having a tank or a jet or a helicopter, and there needs to be a balance in the sense of ways to deal with them, with either RPGs, straws, Igla, stingers, anything of the sort, you know, to help combat very, very strong vehicles. Because if one person gets a tank and no one's running an RPG, or there's no Cornet launchers, or there's nothing to counter them with, that one vehicle is just gonna go mow through everyone. And if you play Battlefield, you know that bullets don't really affect tanks, so you need rockets to help deal with them, or mines and C4 and stuff. So there's that. So just keep the vehicles on to limited events. You can add little birds for transports as well. Just things like that, to be honest. That's what I would think. And that's how I would approach making a Battlefield based battle royale. So there's that. And what else? That's pretty much what I had to talk about in regards to the next Battlefield. At least with the battle royale rumors. As far as, like I said, the leaks, I'm still be cautiously excited. I'm getting my hopes up, I'm not gonna lie, but I have to learn to taper my expectations, because what matters to me most is how the game launches. I know a lot of people are seeing it, and the hopes are going up. I'm seeing players like, oh my god, this looks so good, I can't wait, blah blah blah. And I want to just make sure the message is out there to the Battlefield community. We all love Battlefield, we all want a good Battlefield, but I need you to keep in mind what's happened with Battlefield these past, what is it, 5-6 years, maybe 10. Battlefield 5 could have been a solid game, and when things started turning around, they cut support. 2042 would have been a really good game, but a lot of things were messed up at launch, and there was a lot of controversy. And while this game surprisingly still gets supported, it's not the hype for not the hype. A lot of people don't look at this game fondly because they think it's trash. And these are players who I've noticed they've played it like at launch or within the first year when it was like really bad, and they never picked it up again. So to an extent, they're kind of like, and I don't mean any disrespect by this, but they're kind of like butthurt about it. And it makes sense, but people are gatekeeping hard sometimes. And the reason I've been playing this game a lot more too, right, is just because like it's getting updated. There's like a new event pass, and there's like maybe like monthly events. I just got back into it. Maybe like this is my third week back, almost a month ago, and I've been having a blast playing the game without having to focus too much on the battle royale. But on the battle pass, and I've said this before, is a whole different experience. It's fun to just play it when you want to play it, and I've had my fair share of like Battlefield moments. Give me a sec.
We now hold Sector Alpha.
Sorry, I had to yawn. And yeah, what else? I do want to say, because I've been wanting to kind of make this a short, but I haven't really had the time to like make it a short. I feel bad for the engineer. I'm trying to like help him revive me, but I'm moving too much. But one thing I will ask DICE to do, and I will probably cut this up in the video, please stop disbanding lobbies. Call of Duty's done that, and I know I compare both, and I know they're both separate games, completely different separate games. They compete in the same genre in the sense that they're both first-person shooters, but because they're trying to compete a lot, there's a lot of, oh, they're doing this, let me do this. My suggestion to DICE is please stop disbanding lobbies, because what's going on in this game, one, no one's ever really playing the full rotation of a Conquest server, since we're always like constantly disbanding lobbies. It's always the same maps. It's always Renewal, or it's always manifest or something. Please stop disbanding lobbies. It's not cool. With 2042 in particular, you're making it feel more dead than it is. Disbanding lobbies, getting into new lobbies, fighting against AI to like half the match where like it starts finally popping off. It's not a good feeling. Plus this game, I imagine the player numbers aren't like super high, but they're not super low. I think there's like a healthy player base in 2042, and
Watching your progress.
disbanding lobbies after every match just like I said, it makes the game feel more dead. It's not a good experience. I hope that is something they don't implement on the next game. Keep the community together. I understand there's a whole thing with balance, team balance, and skills balance and all that stuff. If you're worried too much about team balance, do what you did in Battlefield 4, where you had one squad. Let's say you had a match, right? Let's say Shanghai. Let's say the US destroys Russia and it's like 500-0, and it's like a sweep, right? What would happen in the next map? And I think the next map after Shanghai was Langkang Dam. That's how much I used to play Battlefield 4. I think is that they would split the teams off to try and balance the game more. You know, not to keep it close, but to give the other team a fair chance of not getting swept. You know, having a chance for those quote-unquote close games, but still, like keeping that kind of casual flow. I understand some people want a sort of like skill-based matchmaking. That's a hot topic. Honestly, it's hard enough to balance 64 players. Imagine having a balance like 128. It doesn't make sense to be disbanding lobbies as much as this game does. So yeah, I hope that doesn't get introduced in this game. If it's possible for them to stop doing that in 2042, I would very much appreciate it. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video there. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you all made it this far, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you all tomorrow when I upload a Call of Duty video and talk about what's going on with Verdansk. With that being said, peace.